I have things that I missed or
I'll just do this.
interpretations.
Yep, I have the copy.
Anybody-
I have my copy.
anybody-
I have a copy, I've got a copy.
Thank you.
All right, town board, Doug Giles reported, on the Butts Hollow one. And, we will be involved. The wetlands guy hasn't gotten there yet.
So I need to recuse myself from the Butts Hollow application. I do not have a financial interest in in any aspect of it. However, I have a social relationship with the owners of the property. And to avoid the potential appearance of impropriety, I am recusing myself from Butts Hollow.
Thank you.
So the appropriate thing to do when Butts Hollow is discussed is for me to leave the room.
Exit the room.
So
We'll see you in a minute.
see me in a minute.
I'm glad you're not taking the minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Howard.
All right, so nothing much, not that, these are only, they have a long meeting as usual, but these are only the things that change us.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned the, Butts Hollow Road.
Yep.
Talked about it briefly, and the smaller lot was not going, had a stream in some wetlands, and the wetlands consultant, our friend Steve Marino, was
Mm-hmm.
unable to go because of the snow and the weather and so on.
Okay.
So depending on what Steve finds out, we could be involved in that, because they might need a wetlands application, maybe.
Right.
That was the one that came up.
Okay.
Oh, no. Planning board is requesting, he informed them, didn't tell what it was. A request in the zoning code, so building permits on scenic roads would have to pass through them. That's a pretty good idea, because at the moment, you go on a scenic road, there really is nothing that protects those areas.
Yeah. I'm just getting pen back. So.
She can come back in again. But she'll have to go out pretty soon.
Sorry. I figured it was a brief one. All right.
The zoning board of appeals, and this is a very interesting one that it's been going on for a while. Some of this stuff in what I put together is older stuff, and you probably are aware of it already. The neighbor, who was been there for several years, quite a few years, now has a solar ground addition on the other property out front of their driveway on the other side of the road, already built. Apparently, the building inspector is aware of it, I think, and let them build this. But the problem is that this solar code is very specific, and it's listed below in dark print on the my notes to everybody. It says a ground-mounted solar energy system for non-residential property shall not be visible from any public road or from any other parcel. It's very clear. We had that with a precedent with that already with Carey Institute when they put their solar panels in.
Right.
Right.
So this is nothing new. And the ZBA ruled this a commercial property, and they passed it on to the planning board. Now, I don't even know why this is a question, but you never know with some of these boards. They should not be allowed to do that, in my opinion, because I was also on the solar committee and wrote some of that legislation, and they were open to the public. This is not like some of the things going on now where they have these meetings in private. There were plenty of people here sitting in an audience, and all of them agreed with that. There was no real outcry to stop it. So it goes way back. We've been president is the Carey Institute, and it's environmentally unsound to have to look at that, because one of our things is to look at the aesthetics of some of what's done. And it's aesthetically very unpleasant to have to look at that. I'm sorry.
Do they rule that it's commercial and thus
it has to go back to the planning board, and that's what
I
you're
don't know why
concerned
they
with,
ruled it commercial.
or you're concerned with that, the fact that they ruled that it's commercial?
No, that's what they did. For some reason, they decided it was commercial, which it is probably. The fellow that has that bought property relatively recently. The other people have been there much longer. And there are horses on there and so on that they bought and things like that. But if it was residential, it would be the same thing. Because if you go to the residential section of the code, it says the same thing, basically. Cannot be visible.
Right, but did this all start because of because there was no application from the town, that it was the zoning administrator that gave the permit? Is that
I
what this
believe
started
that's what the
from?
neighbor's lawyer was saying.
Yeah.
He
So-
gave it based on agriculture,
Yeah.
agricultural, so that's why I'm trying to figure out what.
Yeah,
happened at
so
this
he,
meeting.
so that's where the problem arises, is it was granted based on one interpretation.
Mhm.
And the neighbors are using all the other forms of interpretation to question it, I believe.
And so it went to the zoning board to say, is this agricultural, and therefore
They washed it,
exempt?
Yeah.
And they're saying, no,
no,
it's
it's
commercial.
commercial. And
So that's all
now,
that happened at this meeting.
yeah, so now they're
That's probably
going to the next
the
stage.
reason why they did that. Even if it's agriculture, we've got other cases with the Dutchess County Ag Department there. Doesn't enforce everything. There's wiggle room, so to speak. And if the town has a code and they sometimes uphold the code, you have to get an opinion from them at that point.
Hmm.
You know, is it doing any harm? Is it other ways they can put it and so on? So just because they're agricultural isn't automatic, but they get more rights.
Yeah, they have more
They have more
leeway.
rights
They have
because
a
of that.
little more leeway on that.
So that's probably why they ruled it commercial.
Yep.
Is it Dutchess? It's carry is commercial. All right, so.
All righty.
So that's basically that one. And the code, with this code is in there.
Yep.
Quoted. Now we get to Valley Farm Road property.
Mhm.
This one is extremely interesting to me, because I also was involved when they did the wetland code. And the basic thing with the wetlands permit is that if you can't build it anywhere else, you have to explain why you can't do this anywhere else
Mhm.
in the language.
Yep.
And so these people have a property that apparently has been there a while. I'm not sure if they're the original owners of how far back they go,
Mhm.
but I think these people bought it relatively recently. I'm not really sure on it, but it's not that important one way or the other. They want to put an addition on. They are in the wetlands buffer, except for, I believe it's a kitchen or and something sticks out outside the buffer of their property.
Mhm.
They claim that putting it in the wetlands buffer is the best place, because they want to be there, so that is the best place for them to do it. I don't understand why they can't, not that they want it there, but they can put it outside the other side of the house. And it would be
The
on
other thing they can do is they can build a second story, and not change the footprint of the house. I mean,
but they're not doing that. They're actually extending it further into the wetlands.
So what I'm saying is that they haven't demonstrated that there's nothing else that they can do.
Yes,
Because
correct.
one of the things they could do would be to keep the same footprint and expand the area of the house up.
I'm just looking at one of the things, sorry, no words today. It says multi-story building number 1. So is it already multi-story?
I don't know.
So I saw stairs in this one image,
I had
and
the
then,
idea it was, no, I don't.
and then it says and it looks like the same property, same building.
So
So,
I was just looking at,
so do you see where the stairs are
It's
right
gonna have a
there?
basement.
Kind of in the middle?
It may have
Do you
a
see
basement
this?
as well.
So that's stairs. Is that existing stairs or going to be new stairs? Because I would assume it's an existing staircase. But it says if you go into the next couple of forms, there is multi-story building number 1. So that means it exists, doesn't it? from what I see, and then it shows where they're wanting to do the extension in another color. And it touches the wetlands buffer.
No.
Oh, sorry, no, it's all in there. Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm looking the wrong direction. Sorry. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. So it's that portion that's going to be added.
So this is the portion that looks like it's new.
So it's what I'm seeing in this one picture. This is the new. So
Right.
this exists, and if you look at it here, I'm going to show it to you guys. And I can't make this change anyway. This is what it looks like. So do you see that building? That's the existing,
Multi-story.
and it says it's multi-story. So that's already existing. That's that footprint. Don't you think?
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
So this is the existing footprint.
Yeah.
And that says multi-story building. So
All
it's
right.
already
2 stories.
It's already 2
So
stories.
the addition is gonna be 2 stories. Is it that what we're saying with a basement?
We don't know.
No, but I'm saying that they can't go up at this point, or they've not chosen to go up because up is already there. That's my rendition of that information. Don't know if I'm correct. So that may be why they've chosen to put the master bedroom.
But to me, they can put it on the other side of the house. They don't want to. It's not as
Right.
convenient for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the layout of the house. It would change the dining.
This reminds me, remember the guy with the rock on
Yeah.
Burbank Road? He had to see the rock, so he couldn't go 20 feet further out of the wetland buffer, and they let him have it to see the rock. This is something like that.
Precedents that the 25% rule, what we've considered is always allowed, based on
Mhm.
the fact that people say this is the most suitable place.
It's always the most suitable place for the applicant. I've never seen one where it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. So, but they haven't demonstrated that they can't build outside.
No.
And,
No.
and that's, what I think the question for us will be, when do we submit our comments? Because the wetlands consultant is going to be commenting too. There's no plans here. There's a simple statement, I think, that says that the construction won't disturb the wetlands, but there's no description of how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's not enough information for the planning board to put any constraints around. I mean, if they do decide to go forward, normally there are lots of conditions and understandings and none of that is here. So I mean, unless, is there going to be a site visit? Do we know?
Don't know.
I haven't heard of anything.
And so this was the application that the planning board wanted our comments on right away.
Yeah, so this is the one that, okay, so that's right. That's what I was trying to remember. They are having public hearing, right? This next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it sounds like we're supposed to go forward without the wetlands consultant's comments.
yeah, I can reach out to Susan and ask her if there's.
I mean, I'm fine. I mean, in many respects, it's easier for us to write if
Without.
But certainly we don't want to, if they would prefer us to.
Let me just reach out to her
Yeah.
and get an answer, and then we'll draft ours
Yeah.
and have it for the public hearing, which is the day before our next meeting, right?
Mhm.
Reach out to Susan. All right, let me just do that.
This is probably just for discussion purposes. Historically, all of these go the same way. Steve Marino comes out. He says, I can modify some things on the wetlands, make it better, so I can mitigate it. And there's not going to be any harm from doing this. If you think of all the applications we've looked at, almost all of them go exactly like that, so.
Yeah.
He's probably going to suggest some mitigation, we'll do some planting here, and it will compensate for the disturbance in the wetland that will improve it elsewhere.
And this,
But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, so along those lines, this wetland is a constructed pond, is that,
I believe so.
it's a constructed
I
pond,
believe it is.
right?
I don't believe it's a natural. I believe it was one that is. Let me just
I
double
think
check.
it's constructed.
So
I
that's,
do too.
so that's part of the, will be part of the analysis, right?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it doesn't look like it's a natural one. And it would have been before, obviously, the wetland. Well,
Is that something we
I don't
want
think
to?
it's, it looks
It makes a
constructed.
difference, but. I'm an expert.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's not connected to anything else.
yeah, I mean,
Oh.
it looks like, it's kind of hard to say because they've only highlighted the
Right.
parcel and not the surrounding properties. So it's
We
something
need to see
we
if it's
do actually
connected.
need to look on, besides the maps, that, looking on parcel access or
To see.
Google Earth to see it, because
Mhm.
it's blanked out, so we can't actually ascertain.
We are thinking of maybe a site visit,
Yeah,
and regardless, the wetlands expert will have to.
It would be nice to have a site visit before we submit our comments. Is that a
Yeah.
message to Susan?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't, the planning board, I thought it might not.
It's Susan's email said that they, had set a referral to us and that it was going to be a hearing next month. Now, I assume that was public hearing because that's the only hearing you have, right?
Mhm.
So then that means they're at the public hearing stage.
Okay. It would be probably good for them to get a letter in to them before the public hearing, even though they may not want to admit the letter, but the normal, my own impression of these planning boards is once they make up their mind, it doesn't matter what happens at public hearings. And historically, we've always tried to get information to them, even if they don't publicly announce it before the public hearing
Mhm.
starts. So they'll have something in their mind. Other than understand anything, and most of those members haven't been there a long time either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm always personally very concerned, in what they discuss before they have the public hearing. The public hearing seems to have things already set in stone in their mind most of the time. This is why they used to have workshops ahead of the public hearings.
Right.
Sometimes.
This may, was this? This is a workshop
I-
already.
Thought it had a workshop.
Yeah,
I thought it started as a workshop.
So we didn't send them anything? Yeah. This
No.
question.
No, we didn't,
because,
because it was going to the ZBA.
yeah, because
I mean, now is the right time for us to
All
be
right.
commenting.
yeah.
Yes. we sent
And then
something,
I'm just double checking Aaron's comments as well. Did everybody get those from,
Yep.
AKRF? Yeah, it's just that the ZBA special permit, blah, blah, blah. Yep, as what we said. Not existing on-site pond, which includes a dam.
And the ZBA is under the impression that they don't have to grant the variance if it's under, what's the number there, 27% or something like that.
Really?
Well, there's a certain section there that says they can grant the variance up to, I'm going to say 27% increase in the code or something. But they think it's anything over that they have to grant the variance for. That has always been a sort of a bone of contention with the ZBA people. That section in the code, which is 391.7, is a new number now, says that this, you, the ZBA, we, the town, are telling you in the code, this is the most you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's specifically an instruction to them from the town board in the code. they see no problem with going over that. And up to that, they don't have to do anything, it's allowable.
Yeah.
In my mind, they've got it backwards. It's an instruction from the town board saying you cannot grant more than make up the number again, 27% increase.
Hmm.
And they have said now, the last meeting or two, if it's over that, we'll give them a variance. Otherwise, they don't need a variance. That's not what the language says.
All right.
And that language was added later to the original code because people complained that they couldn't do certain stuff.
Right.
So they gave them a little escape valve.
Right.
If it's up to this, and if it's built before 1971 or something like
Yeah.
that, the property.
Yeah.
Now, I'll have to say, I have not compared this exactly to the new code, which we're still waiting for. We're not going to get apparently from Joe Ariel about what changes were made in the code. I kind of think, I've looked at it briefly, and I apologize for not being a little bit more up on it. It looked like they changed some of the language already in that.
Pam was
So,
the one that went through it with the fine tooth comb, and
so I think the 25% language, they did not change.
they kept the 391
Yeah,
language the way
they did.
Yeah, they didn't alter that.
At all.
No.
All right, good. I still have the program somewhere. It's called Araxis Merge or something like that. It takes two sections of code
Mm-hmm.
and it compares them. Are you familiar with that one?
No, I'm not.
And it's a split screen. If I can find it again, I've done that a long time. And you put one section of code on one side,
Mhm.
you put the other section of code on the other side, and it picks up all the changes, even the small words.
That's great.
I think that they made some small changes in there myself.
Okay.
I'll try to look at it again, but the point is, I got the impression from their meeting that they think that anything under that allowable variance, they don't even have to talk about, that is just allowed. As opposed, and then they can go over that and give the variance. They can make it 30, and they've done it in the past, they made a couple.
I know, and that's
35%.
not how the law reads.
No, that's not how the law reads.
No, it's not.
It's an instruction from town code that says, this is what you, the ZBA,
The
can do.
25% is a cap.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
They go over the cap sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of the times.
I don't understand that.
No one understands it. We tried to find the language to where that was created to confirm that it means 25%. We can't find that either.
No, it's in the code.
No, I know, but how that language was created.
I could tell you roughly how it was created.
Right, but we need it in documentation.
It was added after. It probably says someplace added after. with a
Yeah, no,
footnote in
no,
the
it does.
zoning code.
It does, but you need the minutes and the meeting information to what was the reason behind the wording. And nobody can find this information.
And what they got on file, Nikki Cole, who was secretary at the time,
Mhm.
took minutes like a court stenographer.
Oh, I know, she's very good at it.
So if we could find Nikki Cole's minutes in the town record someplace, I'm sure she would have that exactly word for word.
Yes, you're right,
So the trick is to
to find it.
find the date that was done. I think it's in the old code.
Well,
And then boil that.
it is in the code to say when this was altered. So it's
Okay.
anything before that, you should be able to find it. No one can find those minutes to see how,
Has anybody
reason-
looked?
yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right.
It has been a project before this moment.
This goes back a ways.
Yeah, it does. Shannon, I just wanted to note that on AKRF's comments that that they use the NRI map 11 about floodplains and riparian areas, and it does show that it has the stream, I think, into the property. So I think we'll be able to discover that when we look at
Okay.
the full map. So that is noted. I just wanted to mention. Alrighty, and is that all, Howard, on that one?
I guess. stuck with this.
Yeah, at the moment.
So I'll plan to do the first draft of those comments.
Yep, and I reached out to Susan about
Site visit.
the site visit and if there were any comments or going to be comments from the consultant.
Mhm.
So then we'll move forward from that.
All right.
So now to the next one, Howard?
Stanford Road pool variance. I don't know what's going on there. They're trying to compromise, or I have no idea. They keep putting it off.
So they pulled it. This had never had a decision. I feel like this had a
They
decision.
did have a decision.
I think, but didn't they Article 78?
Yeah, I think.
I think that's, yeah, I think
Something
that's,
happened after the
Okay, this is the
decision.
one that, yeah, okay.
it's not done yet, I don't think.
I don't know why that decision is not being upheld at this late date and why this, who is stalling it. But apparently, maybe they're negotiating with the Yaga. You would have to approve that. They each have an attorney.
Yeah, I think
Yaga
there's,
has Josh and the planning board, opposition has
Jim.
Alan Rapplegate.
and Jim, yeah, so I think they're still all negotiating. I don't think it's done yet.
No, it's not done yet.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, now, the Woodstock part thing here.
Mhm.
It's-
Let's see what I was looking for.
I think I missed something on this one. You know, it said workshop on their notes when they handed out the agenda.
Mhm.
And I'm saying to myself, and I think I talked to you guys about this, why is this a workshop when they already had a public hearing on it way back?
Mhm.
That's the way I remember it. But they called it a workshop,
Mhm.
and it turns out that sometime in 2004, on the town website, where they have the section where they show all the, way on the bottom of, you go to the website and it shows all the decisions and that they made and resolutions and everything. 2004, at the end of that, one of those has a preliminary approval to be final when satisfied. And it appears to be a negative declaration on something that they did there. And then a clear preliminary approval resolution that they have. In other words, they have in that section on their town website,
Mhm.
a preliminary approval resolution from 2004, the end of 2004.
2024, is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
2020, I said 04, 2000, sorry.
it's okay.
Who knows?
And this is the planning board, right? We're
This is
still
in the planning board section, on the bottom of that section of it there.
in 2024.
I think it's in the very end of there. It has clear preliminary approval resolution
Resolution.
written out
Yeah.
in
Okay.
detail, quite detailed.
Oh, sorry, it's me and my computer, we just do things, all right. Okay, yeah, you're right, it is, resolution granting preliminary subdivision approval.
Now, I thought that was just to begin looking at it. Apparently, their interpretation at this board meeting was that if they satisfy all of the resolutions
Mhm.
in that preliminary approval, they're done.
Hmm.
That's what the other thing I noted, this is sort of an aside, I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was at one of the meetings, I think it was the planning board meeting, there was nobody there. Could be the ZBA then, except for the person that, what's her name, Van Tool, the clear
Clear?
person, the engineer there.
Oh, yeah,
Van Tool, T-Y,
she's the
something
lawyer,
like that.
she's
Van
the
Tool.
attorney.
She was sitting in the back, sat through the whole meeting, which was very long, lasted a couple of hours. Met with Aaron at the end of the meeting outside. I just thought that was a little strange. He knew she was there. They went outside and talked. And she left. I'm wondering to myself now, what was agreed to with her and Aaron? Because she made it a point to stay for the whole meeting. It was a long meeting, had nothing to say in the meeting. And at the end, the two of them talked, two good professionals. I thought that was rather odd. I didn't pay much attention to it until this came up. In my mind, that gives them the rights to go ahead. But by the way, they, approved what we said, that you can't subdivide any further.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I'm just reading through.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
That was the main,
That's a big thing.
That was-
that's a very big
that was the
deal.
big win. So
Yeah,
that,
that's
I
the
think that's the win that everyone was looking for.
Yeah,
However, it does not go along with restricting the building to the safe parts of the envelope.
but they need a permit to build outside the envelope, so they have to
That
go
they have
back.
permission to try.
They have permission to try.
We said, if I recall correctly, that they can only build in the building envelopes. And we were even not sure where the building envelopes were on some of these properties.
That, I think, was the bigger problem. We didn't know where the building envelopes were, but if they've been defined, I mean,
Not that I know of them. They may have,
I thought they defined them.
yeah.
but they can build outside them. So what's the point?
What does the wording say?
Oh, hold on.
What would you say it allows for building outside?
With, they've got to go back.
Yeah,
Are you seeing that? Are you looking at it?
I'm trying to get through that spot. Hold on.
It's a relatively long document.
No, I know, it's extremely long. Applicants are subdivided. No, total existing structures, no. I had to go back up, sorry.
Yeah, any changes to the proposed building envelopes, including driveway locations depicted on site will require review and approval by the town of Washington.
So it's not, yeah,
It's not.
it's not saying they're allowed outside of it, or they don't matter.
They have to get permission.
They have to get permission
to
to
do
do it.
anything.
That's probably just standard language, though.
I don't think so.
There's nothing about this that I
No.
think is standard.
Standard, no, that is
No.
not standard at all.
We were saying, correct me if I'm wrong, we were saying that it's restricted to the building envelopes that's on the map.
Yeah, so this isn't 100% of our recommendation.
No.
But it's
Very close.
It's very
and-
close.
And it's very doable.
I think, there could be land outside the building envelope that's not environmentally sensitive. So, we don't,
No, exactly.
I mean, this seems to be a very reasonable approach.
And after walking the building envelopes, they look like they're in a good place and you can clearly see where you can't build.
Yeah.
So I think,
All right.
I think it's
I
pretty
think the
straightforward.
big thing is, as you said before, that does it say in perpetuity, or you say you can't build the subdivided further?
I think it's
It's
perpetuity.
part of the deed.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's part of
that's-
it, yeah.
That's in
Did they use the word? I don't remember. Did they use the word?
I'm just
perpetuity?
looking.
No,
Hold
they
on.
didn't, but
No,
but
my word then. All right.
I'm thinking that this is, so anybody buying the property has got, no developer is going to buy this property. I mean, that's sort of the bottom line.
Well,
No, because
things change. You know. Look at that guy that wants to
They
do
do
the
not
final
line.
plat indicates that all future
Fine.
development of the principal buildings and driveways and proposed 1, 2, 5 shall be confined to the building envelopes established for those lots as depicted on the plat, subject to following paragraph. So 3 of the lots are defined and that's what they are. It looks like they can only develop on those locations and the driveways can only be in those locations. No, should be added. I think it's any proposed changes to the building envelopes, including driveways depicted on the plat, will require review and approval by the town of Washington, which was what we just said. And has to be approved by the town superintendent, highways. Yeah, I mean, it clearly states that you're doing what this says, or you're going to the town to do something else for approval. I don't know how you can get out of it. Whether it says that word.
Doesn't use that word in perpetuity.
Yeah, even though it's not, oh, sorry, don't know if it's, even though it's not stated, I think it's kind of there.
So what are we doing? What's your opinion?
I think we're done with this
I
property.
think it's done.
It's a hard one. Like zoning code's already a law and
Mm,
it's hard to argue that they didn't follow the law and then check all the boxes.
yeah,
The only thing is if they follow the language in there or not when they come with the final paper that they're going to submit.
mm.
Mhm.
Well, let's assume that they're gonna,
Yeah, we just have
Attempt
to
to
show up
do-
again.
we have to just keep,
happens.
yeah, we just have to keep showing up until it,
No,
I mean, they can't, it's here, so they have to kind of go by with what it
well,
says.
they're a representative and I'm getting the name wrong again. I'm going to say Van Tool. She seemed very happy with it.
Because her clients get to do what they want.
Mhm.
I think that it is a win for her clients. And, the clients may get less money for the property as a result of the restrictions, but they
Can still do it.
they can still sell the property.
That's why she's happy, I guess.
Yeah.
Done something for the client that the client will be happy with.
Mhm.
All right. Now, any other questions?
No, I think that's,
We're not going to submit anything further till we see the final of that.
I don't think we're going to submit anything further.
no, I don't think I will. And, so then your next one, Howard, back to Butts Hollow, but are we gonna talk about it again? Because we're gonna have to kick Pam out if we
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
Bye, Pam.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you again in a minute.
Okay.
All right, so,
It's pretty much so far the same thing. That plan, I believe, was presented at the front of you there, that one on the table, in color.
Yep,
It was not on the website that I could find,
I'm just looking for it as well.
but I believe Susan Meany sent a copy to either me or to you or.
I think isn't that was, yeah, she
Because
sent
I wrote,
it,
I
she
said,
sent
I
it to
can't
me.
find that copy.
I know, she sent it and I forwarded it, I believe that's the one I forwarded to everybody.
And it was not on the website.
Yeah, they told me it was gonna be, but I don't see
Well,
it.
they got
Oh, wait a
another
minute,
problem. They have nobody.
I'm gonna get in the right location.
Do some of that because
Um,
Jennifer, who was, in my opinion, very good, left for a better paying job.
I know, I miss her already. But they do have someone who puts all this up for the town now, so I'm just.
Have another person.
Oh, no, it's up, it's up. So what is it? It's under 2025, so, yeah, everything's here. I believe, site plan edits. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
that's
one.
the one.
Yeah, that was the
It
one
wasn't
that,
there before.
yeah.
They put it up.
so it's, I don't know when it got up there, but it is there. So yeah, they've done this little rendition of it.
All right, so they have the maps. I mentioned whoever attends, go to the site visit. Anybody attend the site visit?
No, I don't think anybody was able to go, right? So,
So there's no comments.
no comments.
All right.
Are we done with that one? Are you?
Wait, no, we're not done with that.
Okay, yeah, you've got the other part.
Okay, there's the AKRF stuff again.
Yep.
Okay, same deal with the town wetlands on that property with that particular 20-acre plus whatever.
Mm-hmm,
He has not been able to get on that property yet because of the snow and the weather and so on.
mm-hmm.
So pending on what he finds, it will be discussed and we, the CAC, depending on what he finds, may be involved for review and comments,
Right.
which we have not been asked to do yet.
Mm-mm.
Technically, am I correct? That-
Not as yet.
So we will have to wait, see what they tell us. He should really be on there now. I mean, I think all the snow is gone and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna say within the last week, it's been pretty good. So something that we should follow up on.
Steve Marino comments to see if we're involved on that.
Alrighty. I'll reach out to, I'll reach out to them to see how that's progressing.
Okay, that's
Pam can come back.
basically it. We're done.
I'll go get her. I should have texted her. I know.
Next time, I'll.
I know, I was gonna say, next time we should just have the phone so that we can text each other.
Yeah.
You may return. Not that somebody would question that anyway. Go ahead, Howard, we're now to,
Okay, so now we're up to Mabbittsville.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe I understood this correctly, they're still not going to have any parking on Route 44.
God, I hope not.
Check that on the website.
I'm looking at it, but I can't imagine why anyone would think you could park on 44.
Oh, why not? They tried to
On
do
the
it
road?
before.
Yeah, where they used to park for the deli.
In front
Oh,
of the
yeah, the
building.
deli they used to park.
Do you know how
there.
many accidents and near misses have been there with people parking out in front of that building?
Okay,
Those were the days.
so apparently this one is sufficiently different from what was there before that it may not qualify for one of these special permits that exist already. And so they may need to get another special permit.
Right, so I don't know what's been happening because I really haven't read this, but depends on how we all look at it, because people who live in Mabbittsville look at things way different to everybody else. But every time a business changes, so like in this particular case, the owner of the building has his business there, and that's what his special use permit was for. So
I think there's
now.
a list of special use permits. I'm not-
Yeah, but once you cease using one special use permit, you have to get another permit.
Oh, they have to go back for the permit, but the
Right.
permit that they have may not match what he wants to do. That's what I think they were saying to him. Like they may need to get a new special permit.
Right, I assume that's why he was coming
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
because it doesn't match. His special use permit right now is for his business to be there.
Right.
And that's not what they're trying to do. I believe
Yeah, that's
he's got
exactly what it is.
he's got someone else coming in.
Slightly different model.
It's
It's a stockbroker.
it's an agent, it's Edward Jones, so then they need to have a different special use permit for either Edward Jones, or if he's going to keep his business there so he can have offices. It's got to be clarified exactly what he wants the building to be for. It has residential upstairs. What is he doing with the downstairs? Up until this moment, it was his business.
All right, so our main concern, I believe, as a CAC would be that they don't have any cars parked on Route 44.
Yeah, I would hope that they wouldn't. He wasn't allowed to and with his other special use permit.
Right. I believe they may have said that.
Yeah.
Have to find that section of the code. It's posted on Zoom,
Okay.
so you can find that section on Zoom and listen to it. Be sure.
But definitely, that's the most dangerous intersection in Millbrook, town of Washington, all of it. All right, and
Okay, so we got something else in your bowl other than it.
so you say that next month they're having the
He's back
public hearing?
He's back next month for this was workshop.
Okay,
Now, they can have, if I remember correctly, they can have a planning board meeting without a public hearing. They have to have a public hearing at some point.
right, but this isn't a public hearing, that's next month.
Everything on the agenda, which struck me as odd, is called workshop. And that's the one that was odd was why is clear property being called a workshop? What do they change?
Bless you. I think they're maybe they just moved back to a workshop instead of an actual application
Oh, could have
process.
just been a meeting with no public comment.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be a public meeting.
So, just back to the Mabbittsville
Yeah.
property that, the plans show the parking is in the back and in the side where they were allotted at the last permit. So there's definitely nothing that says, shows parking in front, which I promise you, nobody can park there. So, all right, well, we'll keep an eye on if it's a public hearing or not next month.
Now, the other interesting thing is that planning board did discuss zoning code. Oh, first at the bottom, they endorsed the CAC's plan to seek a grant for the conservation overlay.
Oh, yes, I see.
They were very enthused about that. So that's something nice.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. Well, we will hear by March 19th,
Yeah, it's not, it's what, Wednesday, a week away.
a week away, yeah,
So that's exciting to think that
yeah.
we'll know shortly.
And even if we are rejected for the grant, it's a good way to start the conversation and find out what else may be required.
Right.
um,
And obtainable.
And obtainable, yeah.
Okay, now, I think they have some idea about making another zone in the town. The 25-acre zone, which supposed to be 10-acre zone, be the maximum.
Yes, a 25 acre, they were suggesting to have a new, just to help with the open spaces.
Open spaces. And at that meeting, it came up that this would be something that you probably would want a conservation overlay for.
Yes.
And they didn't know anything about that and didn't understand it at the moment. I tried to explain it to them a little bit. And that's the genesis of their support. They probably looked into it more and figured out, wow, it's pretty good.
Yep.
20, would have to come up with, this is the part I don't know what they're going to do exactly. This is the thing about them going into executive session with Joel Ariel.
Mhm.
He is not a planning, we talked about that a little already. He is their lawyer. He
The
should be
town's lawyer.
town's lawyer. Now, does that mean that anything that they do would involve the town's lawyer? Or is there some restrictions? Are they supposed to have a planning consultant that does that instead of a lawyer?
If they're asking him for legal advice, they're asking him for legal advice, and they're entitled to
But
have it become
their legal
confidential.
advice, in my opinion, sitting that seems to be how to do the zoning code. In other words, how to evaluate a property in terms of the zoning code, which is not technically, in my opinion, a legal thing. That's what you have a zoning consultant for. Do that. He's doing the job of the zoning consultant at that point.
Interpreting the zoning code is a legal issue.
They don't want people like me who's sitting there, the audience, to know what they're doing. Apparently, he says, let's do that so nobody will know what we're doing. But it's not a legal matter. It's not like they're being challenged in court or something's coming up. It's planning that used to be open to the public. And that's their way about, again, I'm speaking for myself. That's their way of being able to talk among themselves without the public knowing what they're doing, which is a violation of the open meeting law. In the past, that never happened. The entire comprehensive plan was written out in public. And if you remember, you probably do, there were large numbers of people in the audience all the time they were working on the comprehensive plan, the last one. They never said you the people can't hear what we're talking about. Sometimes they say you can't participate in that part. The planning board and the ZBA, more the ZBA, I think, but both, tend to now be going into the attorney-client thing so they can talk about what they want to do. Nobody will know. And I personally think that's, if not illegal, unethical, which has never been done that way before. And that's what happened with, they decided, I think, in part, to talk about the scenic road thing. And then they also wanted to talk about this. And he sits there with his iPad or whatever he's got there, and he sends notes to them. I'm assuming, this is again me assuming, I'm sitting there watching him with the iPad or whatever he's got there. And all of the people on the board have computers or iPads or tablets of some sort. And so they're communicating, I think, among themselves by email of some sort. And then they go into these attorney-client things, which to me again appears to be that they're discussing planning or ZBA stuff, which is normal, has always previously been done in public in the open,
Which still
which is
should
the open meeting law.
be. It still should be done in public, so.
So I believe, my opinion, that they're trying to get around, could be wrong, but they're trying to get around the open meeting laws by doing this. Because there's not that many legal things coming up that they need him for to discuss. It's always the same. Let's discuss this part so you get everybody out of the room, sort of thing. I personally don't think they should do that. I think they should go back to the old way and let the audience sit there and listen to what they said, which is why we have an open meeting law. And it's not happening very often. It's being abrogated a lot. I wouldn't say it's never happening, but it's been abrogated a lot recently, much more than I remember in the past. And by the way, as another note, I think was written someplace, you guys must have seen this as well. What's his name there? The new guy here, supposed to be here tonight,
Oh, Doug,
Doug,
yeah.
did not present some of this stuff to the town board because Bob Audia was not there, and I think Joe Rockwood was not there either. He wrote it out somewhere, in some place in notes. That I saw the notes somewhere. He didn't send a note to me. I don't believe. Maybe he did. He would have sent it to you. That still has not been mentioned to the board. Those, whatever the legal thing that they were discussing in private, bring the plan, probably the planning board stuff that they wanted to the town board. They technically don't have that information yet, which probably has to do with the scenic roads. And I think they did that, and the 25-acre, 20-acre overlays, probably that he was supposed to bring that to the board. And technically, as far as I know, they don't have that yet formally. And that's anything I've got. You guys, they have a couple of things you want to add.
Not about the meeting. I've
Okay.
got some other agenda items.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, wanted to, again, say about the grant. Thank you for getting that through and getting it on for us. And we look forward to next Wednesday. We discussed our referral. I had a property owner on Route 82 who had flood damage contact me. She forwarded the information to me that she had emailed the town and the state about. And really what she was doing was trying to get an inspection to see if the property was livable, and probably wanted a legal document stating that. I did say, I think you've contacted the correct people with the county,
Yeah.
the county health department, and the town has also
Building inspector?
was going to have the building inspector, our land use inspector, contact her as well. But so that's where it was. It was not really anything that was a CAC thing. But she did forward it to me, and I did, reconnect with her about it. But it sounded more like it's a county issue than anything. So there was not really anything that we could do about it. And the zoning code approval, we still have not heard anything back, correct, from Joe on.
Well, no, we never sent the letter. So so we're waiting for this meeting to actually approve the letter to send out. So it has not.
Did you send me the letter?
It has not been sent out. I have a copy here, but I'm happy to recirculate it.
Yeah, you can. I'm sorry that I can't even find it on my computer. I might vaguely.
So this is the one we sent in January.
Right, and that's
But I don't, I'm not sure that I brought
correct, yes.
the
Yeah.
one that I drafted.
Did you email it to us? Because I really don't remember seeing it. I'm not saying it, I'm not saying I
Really?
didn't.
Wow. I am so sorry if that,
No, it's not you, it's me, I can
don't
assure
remember it
you.
either.
I'm telling you,
It doesn't mean anything. I don't remember a lot of
It's
stuff
it's
anymore.
literally, that was kind of in that period of time where I was here, there, and everywhere, but I feel like I just don't remember seeing it.
okay, let me see.
I remember, which is the other thing I gotta, is us discussing the round table, the CAC round table, which I get to do tomorrow. Is anyone able to go to that? Are you going to the CAC round table?
No, I'm probably not gonna.
I don't know if any of us are.
Hey, I'm going.
You are?
Good,
Yeah, you
good.
said you were going.
Yeah.
Shannon, you're not.
20 years, it's walking around.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let me answer the last question first. I've got the email with the draft letter from Pam on February 27th.
Thank you. That's kind of where I'm at, is on February 27th.
Yeah.
All right, E-code. It's called E-code, isn't
And
it?
we all said thumbs up.
Yes.
Or
Oh my
at least, Howard, it doesn't look like you responded, but Margaret and I both looked
Yes,
at it, read it,
yes.
and said thumbs
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah, there it is.
Thank you. There it is. It is on the
February
27th.
27th.
Yes.
February 27th.
Okay,
Pending approval, motion to approve the February 27 letter.
Yes.
I'll change the date to tomorrow's date and then send it. Except you have to send it.
Yeah.
So
I'll send it.
So you can send it.
So motion to approve?
Approve, motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And
So the only thing I might do tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning,
Yep.
is to check and make sure they haven't like magically posted the maps or the code in the past 10 days.
yeah, because sometimes things happen.
Sometimes things happen, and it's been about 2 weeks since I wrote that letter.
Somebody's moving something around out there.
Gary, maybe still here.
No, there was people upstairs. Yeah, if you could just do that, that
Yeah,
would be
so
great.
before sending it out,
Yeah.
I'll recheck our
Redouble
website.
check. I will double check. I just looked briefly, but I didn't see anything. And then, yeah, you've got.
So there was, in sort of getting ready for the hearing for the grant, I went to a webinar on March 6th that was sponsored by the DEC.
Yes.
The Hudson River Estuary Grants was the title of it. And Christine Vanderlyn, who's running the grant application process, was one of the speakers. They highlighted 2 projects that they funded. One was the town of Bedford used a conservation overlay zone for a wildlife corridor, which was interesting. And then the town of Milan used a conservation planning grant to do an NRI, which we've already done.
Yep.
But the follow-up from the webinar had a lot of really interesting links and information about conservation overlays that we can leverage whether or not we get the grant.
Right.
So, and I'll continue to watch for other for other webinars and information about conservation planning.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Another item that's come to my attention is the Beaver Dam on Deheim Road. So I just have been talking with neighbors who say that the owner of the property has received approval for wetlands disturbance from the state or the federal DEC. But that, of course, does not impact our town. She would still need a town wetlands permit to do anything.
Correct.
So, but the neighbors don't seem to be aware of that. Is there anything that we should be doing proactively to reach out to the owner of the property to let her know that regardless of what approvals, and I don't even know what proposals she may have, just to keep her informed about the town's processes.
So, the town, building land use, Jonathan, has reached out to her, prior and said, look, we understand that you have gotten permits from the state, but you don't have for the town. A letter has been sent to her.
Okay,
And we have reached out to the DEC to ascertain what permits she's been given. And from what we understand, they're permits for nuisance, which is somewhat understandable, but that is not why she wants the permits. She wants to stop anyone from using the swamp for legal reasons. There are lots of legal reasons you can go on a swamp. So she just wants to stop that. And part of what her process has to be us, but the town has given her the letter that
okay,
says that.
that's fine.
So, and
yes.
she literally just thinks she can do whatever she wants,
Okay,
and she's just going to continue to do what she wants. And the town will each time now find her, whatever happens. But that's kind of all that the town can do.
okay.
They've
All right.
threatened, they've given her the information, and
So the town's aware of the situation, so there really is nothing more for us to do.
she's not going to listen to anybody. So
Okay.
there's, we just have to let the town
Take care of it.
continue to,
And the neighbors.
and the neighbors, it's very distressing for the neighbors, but
Well, if I remember the code correctly, I might not have regular fines and fines
Correct.
day after day,
Correct.
each day is a
Correct.
new day.
correct. And that's what they're going to now go, because she's been warned twice from the town now, and they will now, anything that happens will enact the fines.
So the question is, who in the town is going to administer this? Because when it came up at the planning board a while back, the attorneys on the planning board that's very hard to enforce. Nobody's going to do anything with that. That was their comment. Not officially, but
No, I understand, yeah. Well, the building inspector, who's our land use agent as well, is supposed to be the one to enforce it.
So this is an environmental issue, which I believe fall under our purview as well then. Is that
And that's why I was bringing it up, but it seems like there's no action for the CAC to take because
At this point,
at this point, because the town is aware of the problem, the proper people within the town have reached out to proactively reached out to the property owner. So there's nothing more that the CAC can do
at this point.
at this point. That was my question.
Can the CAC follow up on a previous recommendation that we made and ask for an update as to what the progress is and, why, since this is environmental, what is being done, a certain amount of time has passed and this is still going on and it's harming the environment.
I mean, as it is, nothing's happened since she destroyed the dam the last time.
And I also don't know enough about what permits she may have been granted in order to write an intelligent letter.
And that's why we're trying to get the information from the DEC, and they will not get back to us. Will not get back to me, the CAC chair, will not get back to Jonathan, our building inspector, land use agent. So it's like our hands are tied. We have contacted 3 different people at the DEC.
Okay,
No one responds.
no response.
No one responds.
That's all.
No, this is the new world we live in.
This
This happens in my business
I've
as
always
well.
found the DEC to not agree with them, but to respond, not to respond. That's
For them not to respond, it's baffling.
Yeah.
Yes, I've never had this before. So that's kind of where we're at. We're still just waiting to get any answer.
Because you mentioned the word nuisance beaver, there is such a thing as in the code, some places they call this, use of the word nuisance beaver.
Correct. And that is what she's using it for. That is not really what's going on.
And it can only be done at certain times of the year. It can only be a nuisance beaver in XYZ months.
Right.
So it, to some degree, I would suggest, I don't know if we can do that or not, the neighbors themselves can reach out to the town. If somebody tells them that they have an option to do that.
They all know that. They've all made complaints, but they're
So they're
not,
actively involved.
they're all-
With the town.
well, yeah, they are all voicing their concerns and their anger because, bless you, because, it's very upsetting for them.
Do they have a lawyer? Maybe, do you know,
I do not know. I assume that they're not at that stage.
at that stage yet?
I only know what's causing her conflict and how she thinks she can stop it.
Has the town attorney been involved? You know that?
Probably not. No,
No.
probably not.
Hmm.
So the long and the short of it is there are people hunting on the swamp. She doesn't want them to hunt on the swamp, and that's how she stops them from doing it.
In other words, her methodology is to destroy the environment which they can hunt.
Correct. So to stop them from shooting a couple of ducks, she wants to destroy and kill all the things that live there,
Which would include a couple of ducks.
which would include the ducks and the fish and the other things and the beaver. So we're not quite sure her logic in the one or the other.
Well, so what I understand from what you're saying is she doesn't want a wetlands there on the property.
No, she wants the wetlands. She wants to be able to look out her backyard and see the wildlife.
Oh, is
She
that the
does-
function of the beaver?
She does not want anyone to go on it and enjoy it for legal purposes. She thinks that them hunting on it is illegal. and
Who
it's
owns
not.
the property?
All of them. She owns part of it, but there's other people who it touches. And if they go on, if someone
They go on the other
accesses,
people's property.
if someone accesses the water from somewhere else, they can go anywhere on the water legally. She doesn't want them to go anywhere on the water.
You mean to say that if a stream goes through, this is something I'm curious now, but if a stream or whatever goes through your property, that's a wetland, people can go on your property?
They have the right to access the water through your property, yes.
Okay, I
If
didn't
that,
know that for
if
sure. I
that,
wasn't sure.
yeah,
So that's the issue.
yes. And
She wants to remove the water.
she thinks by doing that, that stops them from getting the access on the water, yes.
Well, there wouldn't, with the little I know about beavers from the Carey Institute, is, I used to go down there and follow that a little bit more. The beaver produces the dam produces the environment that produces the
Hmm.
fauna and flora. So if you stop the dam, all of that goes away in some
Correct.
cases. Because it's a beaver-made environment
Yeah,
and would revert back to a non-wetland probably.
but this has been a wetland for many years.
So then what's the problem if it's been for many years?
Because she bought the property, but she wants the wetlands for herself. She wants to only view it. She does not want anyone to use it.
Well, you just told me that the law says you can go on waterways.
Anyone who has access, legal access to do a legal activity has the right to be on that swamp. That is correct. But she does not see it that way. That is where the problem is. So,
Well, it can't be both ways. That's,
correct. So that's what's very distressing for the other neighbors.
well,
So,
a little disturbing.
We're at an impasse. Yep.
Personally.
I mean, the only good news is that there are so many beavers in that area, they keep going and rebuilding. So
Well, that's what
whatever,
happens, the beavers come back.
yeah, they're not going anywhere. There's a whole chain of beavers because it goes up on Bengal Road. There's a whole nother set of them there. So, they have babies, so their babies come down,
Yeah.
At this moment, it's still okay. It's just very unsettling. So,
So, that was all I had to report on.
okay, thank you. And,
So I'm the only one going on the 26th.
right, so then that was my next thing, is that's the 26th, 6 to 8 p.m. Pam's the only one going?
I'm thinking about it slightly, but probably not.
Okay,
So you will
I'm happy to
speak.
go
you
will
get to
speak.
speak.
on,
So it's our end of year report, and we've already done.
well, I thought they changed the format.
But I
this
think they
year.
changed it, so I don't think you even have to say it.
I don't think I have to.
So
say
I
it
don't
at
think you
all.
have to do anything,
Oh,
No.
which is so typical since I'm not going this year. But yeah, I'm just reading it now, and I meant to look at the other things on the format, but so I don't think you even have to worry about it.
No,
I think it's just
I'm going there to learn. And I'll
you're
report-
learning
I'll
and report back to
Yeah.
what is, but which it looked like it was a better setup than in the
Yeah.
past. So thank you for going and doing that, and I will double check all that paperwork tomorrow and make sure
Okay.
that we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. And
Oh, yeah, so I should now formally register since it looks like I.
yeah, so yeah, if you could do that, and then I will get
Mhm.
back to him and let him know that you were the only attendee.
Okay.
Scott is his name. I knew I did it. All
that's
right.
the new guy.
Yeah, which is great.
Mhm.
He seems to be very efficient. So is there any other open comments, concerns, or questions? No?
Does anybody know what's, this is not a thing at the moment, what's happening with the carrier, with the Cottonwood area?
No? I haven't heard
That has
anything.
nothing to do with Carrie, but
Well, he meant
He's in a
Cottonwood.
butter.
yeah. Well, yeah, but we haven't heard anything.
I haven't
No,
heard.
no, there's been nothing before the planning board.
So what did they do originally? Did they do a workshop
Yeah,
or
they did a
something?
workshop.
And then that was kind of the only thing that's happened.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's
I'd
gone
say a
radio
year ago.
silence. Yeah, lots of radio silence. I don't know, because and that was actually before the hospitality overlay was completed, was it
It
not?
was about the same time.
So I think that because the hospitality overlay was dropped there, that they have no rush. That's what I'd have to assume. Because, they don't need to try to figure anything out anymore.
Right.
So,
Well, the reason I bring it up, it's not exactly a distant conversation at this point. I have arthritis, as you all know. I'm trying to walk a little bit again, and the proper place for me to walk is on Fowler Road,
Mhm.
which is level and there's no traffic and so on. But I haven't walked all winter because it's cold and other things. So I walked 2 days this week on there, a little tiny bit, very small. But some guy came up to me as I parked my car. I parked the car on the side where the motel is, and he wanted to know who owned the place and what's going on with it. And I asked him, "Oh, why are you interested?" He said, "Oh, I don't know if it was true or not. I'm a producer or something, and I shot something up in Stanfordville, and I need to look at this as an old relic, and I want to be able to do something with that." Now, I didn't quite know if I should believe him or not. This sounded a little odd, and I said, go call the town hall or something, or go talk to the carry people, which is their butters, and just thought it was odd. That's why I brought it up, if there were anything going on with that.
that's interesting.
And he said, it this sounded kind of weird. He said, "Are you the owner?" I think he wanted to find out something about it. And that was his approach.
Well, it sounds like maybe he wanted to film there.
I don't
Everybody wants to film in Millbrook.
I mean,
It's a good place for a haunted
it looks
story.
like, yeah, and it's taken over the old
Yeah,
school.
yes.
know.
Not
Well,
far-
maybe
not
they're just
far
waiting.
behind
Do you know
it.
anything about that? Your guys are butters there.
No.
Nothing?
That's it.
Hmm.
That's an interesting tidbit. All right, well, anything else? Otherwise, we will have a motion
Motion to adjourn.
and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. See you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.